Man. I gotta tell you, I'm sitting here talking to myself, and then I realized I was streaming to my test channel. So it's one of those days. It's one of those days. Anyway, gang, let's get it twisted. It is time, y'all, for another Q&A session. Let's get in here, answer your questions. If you got something that's pressing you, let's talk about it. If you're brand new to the content game, let's talk about it. If you're brand old to the content game, let's talk about it. All in all, let's talk about it. Anyway, let me show you a couple of things. All right, so yesterday I had an opportunity to speak at Podfest Global, and I gotta say it was pretty amazeballs, right? I got a chance to, talk to some folks and explain to them why you should kind of sort of be doing live video or recording video at all costs, right? And it's funny because there's still so many people out in the space that are stuck on, I don't want to do video. And man, that's like, you don't really understand how much that's holding you back. Like, it's kind of crazy. Not wanting to do video at this point is really, really holding folks back. So it's one of those things where sooner or later, you gotta just like crack that nut, man. You really gotta crack that nut. The work that YouTube is putting in right now to give everybody an opportunity is probably better than just about any place on the planet right now. TikTok's in the news a lot, and they're doing marvelous things, especially in the kid space. There's a research done on Tube Filter. I'm not sure who did it for Tube Filter, but who the research came from, and Tube Filter reported it. But it was something to the nature of kids under 18, 95% of them watch TikTok. And that's cool if that's your market space. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to do TikTok because I don't want to dance. I mean, like, stop being hyper reductive to these platforms, fam. Like, back in the day, it was super hyper reductive about YouTube, right? Oh, they're just like, cats and fart jokes, right? That's what everybody used to say until about 2013, 2012, 2013. And more people started producing content specifically for YouTube. If I go back in my memory banks, I think the turning point was Viacom sued YouTube over some nonsense about people like putting like CBS Viacom shows on YouTube or whatever like that. And there was a settlement. At that time, I wasn't really paying too much attention into these things. But there was some sort of settlement that went down and everybody walked away happy. And then all of a sudden you started to see all of your favorite TV shows posting on the tube, either as themselves, as a clips thing, highlights, or in some cases, full episodes, right? This is before the deals with YouTube TV came out, right? At that point in time, once TV started producing stuff for YouTube specifically, you heard less and less of the news talking smack about YouTube. Why? Because now they had a vested interest, right? Somewhere in about 2011, like CNN, straight up YouTube, they went there, right? It might be a little earlier than that. I'm trying to remember because I did a video about water spouts, aka water tornadoes in the water right across from my house, and CNN picked up the clip. They paid me for it. They played it. It was on my channel and their channel, kind of thing. Anyway, so right now you're hearing a whole bunch of noise about TikTok because people are running scared because that's what kids are watching. And then so trust you me, the news people themselves might not know why they're being asked to report on this. They might not have put two and two together, but if your station is losing viewership because kids are marinating on TikTok and now grown folks are marinating on TikTok, then they're going to talk spicy about it. They don't talk as spicy about YouTube because they all have YouTube content. I don't think it's going away. That's just me. I could be completely wrong. I don't really have a vested interest either way. I actually don't do that much stuff on TikTok. Just out of pure stupidity, not even because it's a good thing. I should, but I just don't, right? I've been hyper focused on IG and LinkedIn and, of course, just, trying to build this community, right? So, but the excuses for people that are just not creating at all, right? Like at some point in time, people, I don't know what that is, but you're going to have to try to find a way to get over it. So that's what we're here for. We're here to answer your questions, even if it's Renee Claudia. What's up, Renee? It's hey, Linda, good to see you here. I just ran into Linda on Kurt Stream. It is a time to just figure out what it is that you love. Figure out what it is that you know, and figure out what you could probably talk about for 30 minutes without a script. And that's the beginning of your lane. Now, your lane might change in the middle. You might find something more interesting, but that is just a good jumping off point, right? That is a fantastic jumping off point for you to get in and find your lane and do your thing. Yeah, I think so too, Rich. Like the whole TikTok is a super anti-China thing. And I'm going to tell you, Rich, why I find this absolutely hilarious, right? If it's just TikTok is the anti-China thing, you know what nobody can use for the rest of their life? This or the computer that they're complaining with or half the clothes that they're wearing. I mean, come on, people. Come on, get off, right? Just get off. Oh, there we go. Life, Comment, and Subscribe is an interesting book on the history of online video. Gangster. All right, I'm going to have to read that. Julie says, you really taught me so much. Ecamm the script. I'll find it so much. My former, it is outdated. I'm not even going to try to clown with you, JG. It is outdated. Podcast editing and stuff is becoming much, much, much easier, right? So even more so, it's the time to find something that's in your lane. Okay, here's an interesting thought. Could you imagine our tech space if Renee decided to do content on BJJ instead of tech? Right? Renee's a deep, BJJ practitioner, and that could have completely been, his subject of desire to show the world, some of his favorite stuff. Lucky for us, he picked tech, right? A lot of us have made iPhone and Mac purchasing decisions based off of advice from Renee. But yeah, it's amazing. You never really know what you're putting out in the world. But the good thing is, with R2 being multifaceted, at any given moment, because of the skills gathered creating all of that content around the Mac ecosystem, if he ever started to talk about catching 3 stripes on the belt, it would be just as fantastic because you've picked up the skills and the community. And there's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of people who are in, I would say, his ecosystem that do both. So there's some crossover, and it will go both ways. You know what I'm saying? When the first video on my channel was breaking down an armbar from the guard. See, there you go. So it's kind of funny the lane that we choose, right? I think this is funny. I think there are people who are creating content for their business at the same time, trying to just learn the content creation game. And maybe you should flip that. Maybe you should talk about the thing that you're diehard in and create from there first to learn the game, where you're not going to mess up your business. I think there are people that aren't creating in certain ways because they're afraid to mess up their business. I think a lot of people are afraid to show up in their general self because they think it'll mess up their business, right? My buddy Lanai and I, when we were in radio, and they were like, hey, you guys got to go meet, potential sponsor about, this, that, and the third. We would show up in, shorts, T-shirt, sneakers, slippers, whatever. And the radio head people. That's funny. That's a band. The radio heads would be like, hey, I'm gonna need you guys to wear like at least a Aloha shirt, if not a shirt and tie or whatever. And we're like, but that's not us. That's not what we do, right? Like they were so afraid of us losing business that they would get mad that we wouldn't go to, potential business meetings wearing the fake suit. And I'm like, yeah, but then that they're gonna find out in a suit that's not really us, and then they might look at us as like, oh, well, they're just clowns. But if we show up in our regular gear and we say something funny or do something offhand, and we were young, right? So we weren't, C-suite type cats. So if we show up, there's no expectation for us to behave like C-suite type cats, right? When we show up looking like this, like, hey, what's up, how's it? Hey, how you doing, sir? Like that, and we sit down, they would never ask us those C-suite type questions. But we would still be able to go and close deals on sponsorships or, events that we were planning, things like that, because they trusted us, right? If we showed up in a suit because everybody else is wearing a suit, and then they asked us questions that were suit focused while we're like, 20 and 22 years old, they'd have been like, oh, those guys are stupid. But it made them comfortable. And then so it's kind of funny. There's people right now, I'll pick on Linda because she's brand new to the community, right? How you doing, Linda? Right? Like, Linda can't show up trying to, say, talk about, the RX-7 Wankel engines in a Mazda if that's not her thing, right? And it might be a great business because, getting those parts and stuff are very expensive at this point. And it might be a fantastic way to make money if you can import and export those things from Japan and then bring them here. But if that's not what you're into and you're literally just chasing that almighty dollar, you're not going to be able to do it. It's going to get old really fast, right? My people in my community have heard me talk about the radio people that do the radio voice. Hey, this Sunday, aren't you? Like, yeah, like I never did that because you don't ever have to show up that day that, you're mad at Luis and you can't bring that same energy. It just looks false, right? So you want to be real, right? Like Linda said, you want to be real. So yeah, it might be the thing where you have to start your journey with the one thing that you can literally, just wax on for days about, and your family probably hates you when you talk about it. And just to get your chops in, and then maybe you can figure out the lessons from that to turn it into what it takes to help you move the needle in your business. You know what I mean? It's not always your fault, Luis. I really do believe that there's people right now who aren't making the content that they need to make because they're afraid they're not going to show up like looking beautiful. So I love it. One of my friends, Millie, she's super cool. She's been a makeup influencer, dancer, cheerleader, super multi-talented, type person. And she will show up on IG like just in her head thing with what do you call it, a towel? Like, I don't know what the right term. I don't have no hair, but she'll show up in the towel hat and just like start talking to people while she's putting on her makeup. And that level of vulnerability, that level of authenticity, I really think it helps people fall in love with her and her content because the information is the same. But you probably have information on a list that you've been waiting to drop, but you've also been waiting for the perfect time to record that. I think now you can give yourself permission to make more what you might call messy content. Right? I think you can give yourself permission to just do it and not worry about, everything being okay. When you back that up with the dope video fully formatted and all of that stuff, then it goes even further, right? Because you show your ability to do both, right? I believe right now people are sitting on dope content because they're waiting for the time where they can sit down and record a heater. And sometimes you don't need the full heater. Sometimes all you need is like just a quick warm up, right? Couple jumping jacks to get the circulation going, kind of thing. Paul said, TikTok concern around the world is data stored. Europe has laws that doesn't allow personally identifiable information to be stored outside of Europe, and the U.S. doesn't have those kind of laws. Yeah, I mean, what they're saying it's about and what it's really about are two different things. Let's be honest, right? If you watch any of the hearing, which I just watch clips because it's funny, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, so they don't even know what they're actually afraid of. Like they think that the app can like scan people's pupils and whatnot, and tell that you like the content because your pupils got bigger. So let me send you more of that content. Like it's not that psycho. Like it might get there, but it's not that psycho yet. And yeah, I mean, it's just there's a lot of tripping, hand waving, and virtue signaling involved in that. And again, it doesn't even have to be about TikTok. Like we can just completely ignore the TikTok conversation, and that doesn't negate anything I just said. It just doesn't. Um, views are not important, chaps. Views are not important at all. I think. All right, how do we get to this? This is a good conversation. Um, Vanity metrics are no good. What's important is when someone slides in. How you doing? Long time no see. When someone slides in the DM and say the info that you gave me today changed my life, right? You can get a video with 100 views on it, and two people tell you that the info changed their life, and that's better. That's just a better way to live. You can get that same video with 200,000 views on it, and all anyone has to say is, "Oh, you look funny," or "You're stupid," or "You're black," or whatever kind of dumb shit people say in the comments, and it didn't do anything. It didn't impact anyone's life. It didn't make anything better. It gave haters a chance to hate, right? That doesn't convert into something better, right? When you impact people, you start to build a community, you start to build a following, right? If you go to Kevin Kelly's paper, it's 1,000 true fans, right? You only need 1,000. Everything after that is pure gravy. And you can definitely make a living from being a content creator. Absolutely. Um, are you going to buy, you know, the New York Jets off of doing this? Maybe not. But which is more important, impact or income? I mean, at the end of the day, how much you made doesn't go on the tombstone. Now, don't get it twisted. Your man's likes cool stuff. So you definitely have to find ways to make money, but it isn't all about views. Many of the smaller channels, we were at Social Media Walking World and was having a conversation with Daryl Eves, and he talked about one of his customers who has something like 2,700 subscribers, period. 2,700. That's kind of crazy. And the dude is pulling in something like $3 or $4 million a year in income off of 2,700 subscribers because of the content that he's making, because of the impact that he's bringing off of that content. There is a hyper focus, look, my chest is bigger than yours, I can bench 650 mentality around having 3 million subs. 3 million subs that can't activate into a 1,000 purchases is lame. And it's all been proven of that. Finally, I hate to say it, I'm glad it happened, but it's kind of nice to have an anecdote to push towards. There is a girl who did the event. She has like 3 million people on TikTok. She did the event. Not even 100 people showed up. You know what I mean? Those numbers don't mean anything. They're just good for your ego and your ego alone. As you mentioned, vulnerability is a hurdle I'm learning to get over. My face is always stuck far into my screens because my sight is embarrassing, but I can care less. Yeah, I'm assuming you meant you can't see, and it's okay. Like, nor can I, be honest with you. My laser stuff has really helped out a lot, but you might not have that opportunity. Man, it's kind of funny. It's hard to hear me physically hard, or it's hard to hear those words, because I do get, like, I would feel fantastic. I ain't gonna lie. I want a plaque. I definitely want a plaque, because I just want to have a plaque. I could buy one, but no, I want to earn a plaque. Um, I definitely feel that my impact for what I can help people in the world with would be bigger if I had a bigger channel, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'll take the 15,000 that I got almost and be completely stoked with that and make a big difference, right? I get the emails every day from people that tell me, like, I saved their thing. I had somebody run up to me on social media marketing the world talking about how we saved their business. Like, it's a thing, man. It's one of those things. It really does go a long way. Oh my God, what it do, fam? What it do? The artist Haven is here. All you need to make a difference is one view. Thank you. And the only reason why I'm still on YouTube, I still get those DMs and it make it worth all the headache. Yes, 100%. 100%. Victor says, I agree. I don't get a lot of views, but once in a while, I get that one comment say you helped me, and that puts a smile on my face. Yeah, I think I call it my Tinkerbell juice, right? I feel like, when I get a positive vibe from you guys, or even like, hey, can you help me do this? And we figure it out and we get you moving. That's the Tinkerbell juice. You know what I mean? To me, that goes a long way, right? No, this is not true. It's not true. Income is never going to supersede impact, because they're a bunch of rich, hollow people. They have no impact on the planet whatsoever. And let me explain. Let's explain it to you this way, right? I can get it. Like, when you feel that you're in want, you think that money's going to solve that problem. And it can solve certain problems, but not if they are just covering up a deeper problem, right? It'll definitely solve the hunger problem. Got that. Cool, right? Definitely pay the rent so you got a place to live. Got that. Cool. They go without saying, right? They go without saying, straight up. We understand that. But not getting semantic for the sake of winning semantic argument, where it falls down, think of how many actors, athletes, musicians, people that finally get out from under what is abject poverty, what is the hood, what is, the trailer park or whatever. And they come into money quickly sometimes, right? And then they go and completely self-sabotage their careers. Or, worse yet, take their own lives. They thought money was going to solve what was really ailing them. And sadly, in way too many occasions, it doesn't. You know what I mean? In way too many occasions, it doesn't. Now, if you left trying to make the world a better place, if your mission was positive, if your mission was helping out as many people get whatever they wanted, and you were assisting in getting them that, number one, you'll make more. Because that is one of the oldest sayings in the book. You can get whatever you want as long as you help as many other people get whatever they want, right? So if you're able to make positive impacts, the income is almost automatic. All right. So let me fact check my own face real quick. Let me do something real quick. Let's see. Okay. Let me type this and do one more thing. I don't see a dollar amount, but we'll skip it because you'll understand. You can just put it into your brain. I can't find a dollar amount without doing further research. Okay. So anyway, here's an example. Back in 1857, some dude named Joe came up with their has to be a better way. In 1857, Joe invented a product that he patented called medicated paper for the water closet. Joseph Gaetti, invented medicated paper for the water closet. Later on, it went on to be called toilet paper, right? I guarantee you that at the moment he made that, by the time he passed away some years later, he made a healthy earning for himself. Why? He made a massive positive impact on the comfort of millions of people, now billions of people. I don't know who his legacy is. I don't have time to do that much research, but you can look it up. I can guarantee you that the people that are a part of his legacies sit comfortable right now because in 1857, Joseph made medicated paper for the water closet. Right now, your butt does not itch because of Joseph Gaetti. You don't have weird diseases or E. coli spread around and, sanitation and all of the above, whatever. Because prior to Joseph, it was leaves and corn cobs and other random things that folks would do, right? Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, you can change the entire world by getting this done. How much you made doesn't go in a tombstone. No, it's funny. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Thank you. Can you say this again? I almost skipped the last part, Melvin, and I apologize for that. And number one, good to see you. I would definitely take my parents back over any inheritance. Sometimes you got to let that marinate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things. It's hard. Yeah, Rich said I can laser cut my own damn plaque. You're right. 100%. Yes, the community that shows up each time is what makes a difference for me. If you get one person out on the trail hike, that's awesome. Thank you, Julie. Man, I just bought some new Terex kicks, so maybe I take my bad knees and do some hiking. Thank you, Evan. Yes, I love it. The Tinkerbell juice, that's my thing right there. Damn, these are $20 Amazon IEMs. There is a link. I'm sure Paul got it, docrock.live/IEM. And that will show you all of my dope IEMs that I use. I got like 8 pairs because they're just cool and they're inexpensive and they work really well. As an educator, it's when the light bulbs go off that make it all worth it, 100%. It's funny, you and Kevin are back-to-back. Kevin, also a teacher. I heard another creator saying that we should all screenshot all of those comments. Yes, we do that. We have that. We do that in the Ecamm server, the Slack server as well, and then I have my own. It's called the Awesome folder or an Awesome file. It's very, very important to have one. Julie's also a teacher. Big up to my teachers, man. I love you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about what it seemed like. Man, I wish I could just come down there and just stay with you for like a year. I swear to God, I wish I could. Because who cares what anybody else sees? Like, that's not relevant. That is really not relevant. What, I can't, that's a long conversation. That's a whole different thing. And it's not just a Jamaica thing. I'll tell you this. How about this? I was born at a time where our country was making a change. If I was born 3-4 years earlier, the majority of the population in my country would see me as meaningless no matter what I did. There's people in the chat who, for whatever reason, a whole bunch of people see them as meaningless or useless because of them, right? They're not the right sex. They're not the right color. They're not the right orientation. They're not the right religion. I think everybody in the chat has somebody that looks at them in a way that would make them feel lesser if they didn't have their head screwed on straight. Right? So that's not what this is about. I don't care what anybody else thinks of me. I sleep at night. I know that I am on my mission, and I know that I am making a difference. Because when I go to social media and marketing world and all the people come up to me and tell me that, right? When I get those DMs and everybody comes and tell me that, when I get messages from you guys, you guys show up every Tuesday and Saturday, you're telling me that, right? Right now, somewhere in the 33 people listening to this joint right now, and no, look, I mean, that goes all the way back to Chap's comment. I don't have 300 people listening to the stream. I should. I could make a bigger difference. But in the 33, if 3 of y'all hear me, I did my job today. If nobody hears me but Julie, I did my job today. Me and Julie, cool. and I feel better because Haven came today. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. That's all that matters, right? And my buddy Rich is here. Rich is my brother from another mother, bestie from some different testes. But, you know, just that Rich is here or Luis is here or Paul is here, you know. Like, me and Paul argue so much, we might as well be married. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I appreciate my fam, you know, and I don't need it. I would love it if more folks came, but I really don't care. I'm happy that you guys are here and that we can do something to make your process better so that you can make lives better for the people that listen to you. I have had the meetings where I'm on the phone talking to Gretchen. It's not the real phone, it's Zoom. But I'm talking to Gretchen, and Gretchen was like, I was doing a stream, and, you know, one of the artists tells me that, you know, they were having a hard time or whatever, and then they started listening to the stream and creating along while we're reading this book or that book, and, like, you know, it really impacted her. You could tell by her giggling gangster grandma self that person getting something out of what she was doing with her books or her artwork, you know, nights or whatever, is making a difference in somebody else. That tells me that I'm doing what I'm doing on my mission, because my mission is to positively impact a lot of billion people. I can't do it by myself. I need y'all, right? So, if necessary, I did see this comment. I'm not going to let this slide. This is why I left New York. I couldn't be the me I wanted to be in that island. Like a dummy, I came to a different island, but I couldn't be all of me there. Actually, I could have. At the time, my brain wasn't catching that, right? I left when I was 17. For what I'm doing right now, I would be so much better in New York. But I'm happy here. I basically lived on all islands. Puerto Rico, New York, Hawaii, Japan. it's a thing. I'm an island boy. Anyway, I just moved up to fiber internet. Now I have 100 megabyte cable, allegedly. I've been asked to promote, produce a webinar. Where about any advice? Yeah, I was going to talk about that today. It's funny you should say that, because I too just moved up to the same gigabyte. Either way, we'll talk about it in a section. Yeah, there you go. There you go, chaps. That's what I want to hear, fam. That's what I want to hear. And anything that I can do to help you achieve that, I'm in like Flint, because that to me is really what it's all about. I don't like. Hold on. I'm gonna adjust my face real quick, and I'm come back to that. Let me save that. Hurst, good to see you, fam. Good to see you. Captioning, for example, can help out both deaf and blind people who everybody else wants, even SEO. No, that's true. Google has always, not always, but for quite a long time, given creators more Google juice if you actually take the time to be properly compliant with ADA and other type compliances like that. Okay, let me get back to what I was trying to say. My brain just almost went dumb. I put a lot of work in when I first started to get people ready to deal with the panini and continue to do their businesses while things were being disrupted. In the process of doing that, just being there to help, because I had radio experience, TV experience, broadcast experience, and equipment experience, as well as studio experience, I had enough information in my head doing nothing but hiding behind whiskey and weed to help folks, right? In the process of helping folks, I found Ecamm. And in the process of helping folks in Ecamm, they offered me a position. So I don't have to do the whole YouTube thing to make money. Like, I have a perfectly good job that I could theoretically just work and do nothing else. But I love this too much, right? And there's impacts that I can make outside of being the community manager at Ecamm that are bigger than just being a community manager at Ecamm, right? So I do this even though I technically don't have to. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it does make me extra money, but it's not really about that. It's more about, people will tell you, Keely and Rich and Rob and a couple other people have yelled at me about charging too little bit to do what it is I do in my coaching, right? And it actually takes away from your ability to have a bigger impact, really, right? Actually charging too little or not making the money to continue your process is actually hurting you from getting to where you need to go. So more than likely, if you're not making enough doing what it is that you do, but you know you're making an impact, raise your price. It's crazy, but it works. Pat said that, and Sean said that this week at Social Media Marketing World. So, yeah. Man, you don't even know. You don't even know. I miss my dad on a daily basis, man. Like, my dad taught me all of this stuff. And you know what's crazy, Paul? One of the things that rips my heart the most is if my dad saw me traveling around the world to go speak at Final Cut conferences with the teachers who we used to watch together when we first got, Final Cut 1 back in the day, or some of the guys that have been in the DV space forever, because, my dad would be trippy. If he saw me hanging out with the Ripple guys, or, being in the community with like Matt and Dylan and all of them, my dad would be like, he would be tripped out. He would be like, oh my God. So yeah, I definitely miss it. Starlink. I'm teasing. Let me see. Hey, what's up, mommy? Good to see you here. Hey, Hirsch, man, it's just always good when you pop up. You're seriously one of the best. I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm more like a shot of whiskey, and that's okay. Definitely okay with me. I love me a whiskey, right? That's my my machine right there. uh, your statement proves that impact. The growth of folks in this community helped with that impact. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Battle Vibes. I can't read today, but I appreciate that, and I'm working on it. Are here and creative party trying to create something meaningful, but mostly just trying to survive, right? Living in third world corrupt country, it's easy to value impact more than income more than impact. I get what you're saying. No, that's I fully understand that. And here's what's so funny about how weird the world works, right? Like, JFK, you know how many people are here like, man, I wish I could just make this little bit more money and go retire to somewhere like Jamaica. It's kind of funny, right? Everybody there is like, I need to get out of here because I can't make a earning or living or whatever the proper. And then rich folks are trying to like buy stuff so they can go live there because the weather is dope. It's a really weird dichotomy, and I wish I had way more. I wish I had way more time to talk about that. But yeah, it is crazy how that works, right? Uh, right, Roy? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And actually, I love when I see your videos and your streams come up. You come up with some pretty incredible stuff. So I know you're in your game, right? And you helped out mommy. So if nothing else, you're good. uh, it's funny. Are you happy? Are you feeling your mission? It's a strange wake to walk in, man. It is a strange wake to walk in. It is so crazy. Thank you, mommy. Send me a testimonial. I'm joking. You don't have to, but I'd appreciate it. Anyway, that's funny. I really, man, Mommy Lala is one of the coolest people. If you're having a bad day, just go watch one of her streams. And if you don't leave from that smiling, then we need to call somebody. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Especially you. Hey, G, the West Indies does its best. My parents don't know what I do. Hey, man, having the opportunity to like bump into, hang out with G in real life was definitely a highlight. Yeah, man, I really, really love being able to do that. Thank you, G. I appreciate you, brother. Yes, I did, Roy. Let me come to this real quick. I was watching that video, and I don't know why I just pressed what I just pressed because that wasn't what I was pressing. I watched that video, and I was sitting in my living room watching it on the TV because people watch YouTube on TV. People, and what's funny to me is I was sitting there smiling, laughing, crying, and live tweeting Jared and Tom at the same time. Yeah, that video, it hit me in the heart in a very, very big way. And that is why Tom is Tom. I don't know why you're doing current application. We want to do Chrome and we want to do this. Okay. So this week, Tom made a video about the 16-year-old 4K movie camera.
Some cameras are so
Victor and a bunch of other people that came to San Diego last year, they got to meet us during the meetup, saw that I gave this to Tom because it was one of my dad's prized possessions. Now, he was on to bigger and better cameras at this point, but it was still one of his prized possessions. And as we were going through his things, after he left us and trying to figure out what we should do with them, my brother and I decided that Tom being Tom and him having a love for retro cameras, that he is somebody who would respect this and maybe learn something from it so that my dad's teaching legacy could continue. So it was heavy. So Tom lives near San Diego, not in San Diego. So I boxed two of them up because we didn't know what it would take to get one running. And I dragged it on the airplane to San Diego. When I met Tom and Heather, they came to my hotel room, and I gave Tom the cases. And then he was like, "Oh, man, we bought boxes to put everything in." And I was like, "No, man, you can take the case too. Like, I don't want it. What I'm going to do with another portable case?" I have like tons of these things, right? It's like a Pelican case on wheels, but Porter Brace is the one that broadcast people tend to use. They're blue. Anyway, so I gave it to Tom, and Tom was like, "Oh my God, this is a lot. I really don't know what to do with this, but I'll figure it out." And he has spent his time on and off over the last year finding a way to resurrect literally one of my dad's prized possessions. And seeing him put that care and nerd out the way he's nerded out on it and was able to bring it to life and create this video fam, like it brought tears of absolute joy to my eye. And I know for a fact that my dad smiled upon this video when he saw it. I also know for a fact that if Tom lived near us, he would have been one of my brothers. Like he would have been kicking with me and June on a daily basis, rocking out with my dad and learning all the things about video that, you know, my dad would have been able to teach him. So, yeah, man, this was a big deal for me. This highlight of my week, and we talk about impact. I had something that a lot of people would have just thrown in the trash. And I didn't want it to go like that. So I gave it to my buddy Tom. My buddy Tom spends time to resurrect it so the legacy continues. He made a video, and as of now, 12,000 people have watched this video. And at least on stats, 388 of them have loved this video. So another 400 people have found something positive out of this video. And if you dive through these 116 comments, they're all pretty good. I don't know what this dude Raph came from. Anyway, they're all pretty good. And that's an impact, man. That is what impact looks like in real life. So Roy, thank you for bringing that up and allowing me to give Tom his flowers. Man, I was chatting him up the whole time. He's his normal Tom self, and man, that's a big deal. Now, here's what's even crazy. I'm gonna just show you the type of people. You know, they say your vibe attracts your tribe. Tom hit me up when he was almost done with this first one, maybe like 2 months ago. And he said, I got one working, and it's been a blast. I really don't need the other one. Would you mind if I sent it to Luis? And I'm like, dude, at this point, it's yours. You do whatever you want. And he was like, well, I just wanted to make sure that I honored your pops. And I was like, man, pops would have loved Luis. You know what I mean? So yeah, you don't have to ask me because it's already in your hands. And the reason why it's in your hands is because I trusted you with that memory. But he even called and double checked with me, like it would be okay if it went to Luis. I'm like, Luis is an a-hole, but I love him. So yeah, let's do it. I'm joking, Luis. And then so Tom sent it to Luis. And now I know that it's going to another nerd that will learn something, gain some knowledge, like gain some respect for what it is and pass the legacy, right? These are the type of impacts that you're looking to make with your content. And I don't know what that means for you. I don't know what that is. I know like Lala and I talked about it, and I hope she don't mind sharing, but, you know, getting a chance to work with her daughter is a big deal to her, you know, passing that legacy. So, yeah, man. Yeah, big ups to that. Thanks, Roy, for doing that, for mentioning that, because I almost forgot to talk about that. But yeah, that was a big deal. So hopefully, you know, when Tom is done playing with this and he passes this one to another person, they can, you know, get something out of it. So, I mean, that's what we're all here for, right? What I'm doing, teaching you guys this stuff, I'll learn from my pops. So even I get to pass on what he told me every day. When I bitched you guys about not white balancing your camera, imagine me doing it with a Korean accent. Then you get the full Monty, if you will. Don't you hate when you get to the end of the tissues and it doesn't stay in the little poop up thing anymore? Melvin says, yeah, I travel the world performing. Everywhere I go, I feel exotic and I want to live there. You know, that's what it is. That was me in Japan, man. That was totally me in Japan. Paul said, negative comments will free flow. People like to get out the negative. True. We had a great conversation about that yesterday. The positive comments are way more important, fam. This is so true. Thank you, Al, man. Love it. I love that life gives us an opportunity to learn, live, and share. And a lot of people aren't rocking that last one. I know not around as much as before, but let me tell you, the way my self-esteem and weight has been lifted off my shoulder. Finding the Saturday stream, Facebook group, changed tons for me. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's see. Trying to revive an Arri Alexa. Oh my God, the Arri Alexa was a dope camera, man. I really, really love that. Yo, hey Rich, it's Backyard Smokes Master Barbecue. This is right up Rich in my story, right Rich in my alley. Thank you, Lala. I appreciate that. Uh, of course I knew about it. Tom asked me, man. That's the part that's so crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the dude that Tom is. Thank you, Luis. Thanks, Paul. Thanks. This is why I love Paul. Oh, that's too funny. Yo, what's up, Hans? Good to see you. Oh man, I gotta chat with you because I'm about to start a channel with my nephew, and I gotta ask you some things to make sure we stay positive. I knew I was going to learn today. Thank you, JG. Super dope. Jasper, not sure this question has been asked, but how do you add images from your computer library when they ask for a link? Um, you okay? I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying, right, Rich? I seen that barbecue thing, and then I was like, "What? What? Let's get some barbecue." All right, now I'm gonna have to go eat some pork belly for lunch, even though I shan't. Let me answer this question real quick for Jasper. There's a bunch of different ways, Jasper. Let me pop back over to my little thing right here. What you're looking for is image hosting. All right, like there's a bunch of different ones out there. I use something called Droppler, like this, but there's tons of them out there, right? Oh God, what was the one that everybody used to use back in the day? It was Pick Something. I can't think of the name of it now because I've been on Droppler for so long. But basically, you just want like an image hosting service. There are some that are like free image hosting. I don't know. I don't always trust these type of things, but I'll show you what I mean by that, right? So if I go to this sort of free image hosting thing like that, it's not really free. That's $3. I mean, not that big a deal, but they're out there. Oh, you can probably also use you. Let me speak English. If you have Gmail, you have Google Sites, right? So you could do it with that. So you could just make a generic sites, and I believe you still get free sites on Google. I'm not sure. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. So here's a blank site, and then so what you could do is drop the image onto this page. Don't know if this is going to work, but let's just try. So you add an image, you say upload. Then I drop in a random image from the desktop. It's an unsupported image type because it's a WebP. I got it. Hold on. Go to upload again and drag the one that I converted to a PNG. There it is. And then so wherever you put this on this page, if you were to save this page or publish this page, you now would be able to get this. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this, and let's just call this images. Nope, can't use that. Okay, call it images holder, publish it. And then I can right click on this guy and get a link if I'm able to see what the site looks like. So this is preview. And then copy image address, that's going to be the URL to that image. All I need now is to take this image, copy that, and paste it wherever you need to paste it. So like I can paste that in the chat. There's much easier ways to do this, but Google Sites is definitely free. But yeah, I use Droppler. If you have there's no such thing as specifically for Uno. It's anywhere online is online, right? So if you have a website already, right? If you have a website for your whatever, you can post it on the website somewhere and grab that link. You could put that on a website of a hidden page, a page that no one's ever going to see, and then that will work. So you can log in. If you already host a website, that'll work, right? Believe it or not, you might even get away with, it depends on the site, you might even get away with putting it in a public facing page on Facebook that has an image link, right? So anywhere where you would normally post an image online and then grab it, you can. Now, they do frown upon things like sending it as a tweet, but it might work, right? So, yeah, that's just basically how we do it. I think Google site is easier. You can even build a free Wix site that you don't really use for anything other than hosting images, and you can put images there, and then you grab it. But yeah, that's how we do it. We've always in the past hosted it on our own websites in like folders, just have a place to store images. That's the easiest way to do it. Imager, thank you, JFK. I take back all of the dumb shit I said about you today. That's what I was trying to think of. I haven't used this for so long. I don't even remember how to spell it. It's been a minute. There you go. This is one of the easiest. Oh my God. I hate you when you complain about my ad blocker. This is why I don't like these free things, but they do work, right? So if you were to make a site, I used to have one. I guarantee you it doesn't work. But if you make a new post and then let's drag this image up here again. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, now it's there. And then I could just grab the link. And now I copy this link. And then this is really stupid. Ooh, I don't know which one of these this will fit in and make it look real, but let's just find something. This will work. This one is really stupid what I'm about to do, but it'll totally work. All right. Let me go back over here. All right, so I'm going to go to the France side and paste in the link. Oh, you need the whole link. Hold on, Man, this thing is dumb the way they ask for links. I'm going to send an email to them and be like, listen, I need you guys to auto-complete the links. I did that. I need the same one that I was at. The reason why I gave an error is I gave it the short link, but you need the whole link. So you might have to open the image in a new tab and get the whole link like that. And then it should work. Ta-da! There you go. So let's do the whole thing again from the beginning. All right. We go to Imager. Thank you, JFK, for reminding me what it is. Drop this in here. And then I'm going to edit this image real quick because it's too big. Hold down the shift key. I'm just cropping an image you can't see because the actual file on the desktop just had a dumb border. Anyway, so I'm going to drag this image into here, turn it loose. It's going to upload. It might bitch at me now because I made two. Okay, bam, there's the image. So from here, you can grab the real link. So you say grab the link. And this is it. Some of the other options down here give you this. What's dumb about this is a short link. So anyway, I'm just going to copy this link. I'm going to immediately paste it into a different tab because you're not getting the whole file name that ends with the type of PNG. But if you say copy image address, you're going to get the whole file with the PNG, right? So now that is exactly what we're looking for. So I have that. If I go to my unos.overlay and find where the heck the other image goes, there it is. And you paste it in there. Boom. Ta-da! Done. Done. So yeah. And all it is wherever you're hosting it, if you're getting a link, it doesn't know how to open the full link. It needs you to paste it, the link that goes all the way down to the name of the file. Okay. That was the context. Sorry. Oh, there you go. Canva can do it. Canva can do it. What keyboard am I hearing you typing on, please? Hurst, this is one of my favorites. I'll get his twin brother because I don't like moving my stuff. Hold on. This is the Ecamm K8. This particular one has browns in it. Where's my key puller? I believe this one has browns in it, but the one that you're hearing has blues in it. Yeah. So anyway, I have it with reds, I have it with blues, I have it with browns, and then I got a whole bag full of purples to put in there. And if you guys don't understand that, never mind Hershey and I, because do not go down the mechanical keyboard rabbit hole. It will get you. It will suck you in. If you got Droppler, I think there is a way on Droppler to get the full qualified link. Let me look this up real quick. OPLR. Because that was the problem that when I was doing the demo the other day, that's where it failed me, is when you pull the link up in Droppler, it wasn't giving us the real deal Holyfield. However, if we come to here, this is the link on Droppler. If I look again, one of these is the full link. That's the short link. That's the context. Nope. Markup, blah, blah, blah. None of those is it, right? But I believe if you right-click on this guy, copy image address, and then go here, that still doesn't give you the full thing. Man, they hide it good. So I'm pretty sure there is a way on Droppler to get the actual full thing all the way down to the name, but they're hiding it here. What happens if that's just a short link? Well, one way you could definitely do it is hit F12. And then when you find it in here, you'll get the actual full link. But a lot of times, if you got to go as far as to pull it out of here like this, then you're getting to the point where they're going to be obfuscating the name of the file. And my eyesight do not like looking in here no more. But it's in here. There's the body. Let the bodies hit the flow. So yeah, Droppler is a bad way to do it. Go to Imager or something of that nature. Droppler overcomplicates it out of their own dumbness. It used to be way easier in Droppler. I don't know why they did that. Yeah, there you go. It's Imager. There you go. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. I haven't been done in that in a boom. You got to make sure it goes all the way down to the file name. So all the way down to the .jpeg, .png, .gif, whatever. Do you recommend using an L bracket for shooting vertical videos? I do have an L bracket, but I even stopped doing that. I get full cages now. My little camera has an L bracket though. right? This is the L bracket. The quarter 20 hole is right here for shooting vertical. But now I normally shoot with a full cage, so it's much easier. And one thing that's really cool is Ulanzi and Small Rig have just dropped rotators. That make no damn sense. LA Ulanzi. There you go. I forgot how to spell Ulanzi. I got like 4,000 pieces of Ulanzi gear, including this damn bracket. And I'm like, how you spell Ulanzi? Anyway, let me show you what Ulanzi is working on. They're actually pretty cheap. So to me, this is a better look. Ulanzi is a pain in my butt though, because they won't ship to Hawaii. So I always got to ship it to like my sister's house and then ship it back to me. But this is it right here. 45 bones. Small Rig has one. There's about 3 other companies that make it, but it's literally just a mount that allows you to twirl your camera inside the ring. On the dang, this one doesn't really show it. On the Instagram ads, there's a animated, there it is. There's an animated GIF where she just whoop, 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 whoop. Super dope. It also will let you get some Dutch angles in there too, so kind of cool. 45 bones. Small Rig also has one. A couple other different companies have one. But to me, that's what I would do. I would get the rotatable horizontal vertical mount plate. Let's see. What is... Hey, come back here. Let's just copy it like this. Copy that. And then let's get rid of the damn console doc. And then let's see what the Amazon says. Because, yeah, so if Ulanzi has it on Amazon, I can get it. If I have to buy it directly from Ulanzi, it ain't no dope. There it is. Silence Corner. This was the original one. These guys started it. And then everybody started copying them for cheaper because it's a brilliant thing, but boom. Look, lens collar. There's one, 50-something bones. Here's another one. I shoot. They're all around about the same price. But what you're looking for is a lens collar that just does that smooth, just like a Silka 360. Boom. There you go. Glad I could be of some assistance. Yeah, this is the OG. If you want to buy the legit one, this is the OG one. But they use the Nikon in the photos, so never mind those dudes. There's my mouse. It's really difficult to suss this out without seeing what's going on. But the truth of the matter is, all that it ever comes from is the person is A, not wearing headphones, or B, are listening to the same thing live while you're live. So if you can normally tell them to 86 the speakers and use headphones and close all the other browser tabs, it almost always goes away. That's really about it. No, you can change the color accordingly. So you can make it solid or you can make it do whatever. So it's really hard to see in this particular light. However, can you see that? So if I hit this little thing right here, don't do that. Wrong button. The lights are changing now. And then if you hold the function key, you can do different lighting adjustments. So there's a bunch of different lighting adjustments for this particular keyboard. You know what I mean? There's even ones where you can make it so that as you type, the lights move accordingly. Oh, now we're doing orchestral maneuvers in the dark. This is your camera on crappy lighting. This is your camera with good lighting. That's funny. Okay, yes, I got it. I got it right here. Let me explain to you what it is. I both, but I don't check. You know me, I don't check analytics. I never check analytics. All right, so going back to Tivity's question, as you guys know, like I think it was last week Saturday or the Saturday before last, I couldn't stream because I didn't have no internet, so it was super stupid. Uh, I went and I got the new 1,000 up, 1,000 down gig fiber in my house, and then I got the office set up with 600 by 40. Once I did that, I realized, because I use my own routers, right? I realized that my gateway, which is a fancy terminology for a router in the professional space, it had a horrible throughput. So let me do this real quick. It'll make more sense. It'll make more sense in a second. Let's go to the store. Let's do this right here. Go back to this. And then if I click on network, and then I go to unified consoles, and then I go down to the Dream Router. This is what I bought, but I want to see if they still have that sheet up in here. I forgot where I saw this sheet, but I think it's under not resource calculator. Nope, that wasn't the right one. Go back. There is a chart that they had in here that helped me realize that my I know what it is. It's on the data sheet. That my old machine wasn't going to give me all of the throughput that I needed in order to make my system work. And of course, now that I'm trying to find this stupid data sheet, I don't know where the heck it is. I've seen this data sheet like 50 times when I was looking this stuff up. So anyway, what basically happened is my old setup was going to have a maximum output of like 450, which is dumb because my new internet can do 600. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I find the image online real quick, because it really does help make sense of what it is I'm trying to say that doesn't make sense. So a lot of people are sitting on older routers because when they bought it at Costco, it was $250, and in their brains, $250 for a router is expensive. So they've had it for 5 years, but they still classify it as I paid $250 for it. But a 5-year-old router is probably doing more damage to your stream than even idiot comments because they weren't at the same level that they're at now. So I was using, even though it was a professional gateway, I was using an older unified gateway, and that gateway had a maximum throughput of 450. I went and got this Dream router because it has a maximum throughput of 3 gigabits, bytes, whatever, per second. Which one is it? I don't forget. Capital B, little b. Anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot quicker. So we got 1 gig internet. This can handle 3 gig. So I literally just bought it. I was about to set it up today after the stream. I didn't want to do it before today because you don't want to go and make a massive change to your setup right before you have something super important to do because that's just dumb. So I figured I'd suffer through one more of these. And now it's going to irritate me that I can't find that stupid chart, because when will I find that chart? Right after we're done. Anyway, so that was my experience. You may find that you have to go in and get a brand new router and check, of all the things you're checking on that router's capability, the thing you're looking for is what the throughput is, right? Because even going to the Best Buy or the Target or whatever to get a new router, it's probably hard to find a router today that doesn't at least have a 2.4 gigabytes per second throughput. But there is there is a possibility, right? So what you want to do is you want to go and check and make sure that you got the right one, and then see what it can do. From there, go and pick yourself something. I highly recommend this Dream Router, right? And this is weird because it's a professional appliance that's been put back into the consumer appliance body, and it's not harder to use than a consumer appliance, but I just like the way the unified stuff works. It's really brilliant, and yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. But yeah, that was the answer. So you might find that you're not getting your full speeds because you're using an older router that can't bring itself up. Oh, you know Sammy tried it. Oh my God, you know Sammy tried it. That's super funny. Oh yes, actually, you're correct. Most of your gigantic, large white lenses have been doing that forever. Your sports lenses, yeah, or bird lenses, they've been doing that forever. There's going to be no. The ZV E1 and E10 will not price drop, but you will find used ones. But there is a new camera coming out on the 29th, or is it 26th? 29th, I think. New camera. And there's a new Insta camera coming out on the 29th, too. So both Sony and Insta are dropping new cameras this week. Old setup had a lower throughput. Boom. Oh, you did. You got one. All right, cool. Man, I love all my unified gear. I have everything unified. But I think I'm going to end up getting a full real deal Holyfield UDM just because I want the 10 gigabit side already connected. You can't put a nickel through a penny-sized hole. Yeah, there you go. A lot of for mobile SIM cards. Oh, dude, I think so far nothing tops the Nighthawk, but I've seen this company. I think they're called iGlobal or something really doesn't make any sense. But they seem to have pretty cheap mobile routers. I've been thinking about just getting one out of pure curiosity. Yeah. And it's actually more of a hotspot than a router. But yeah, I've been really thinking about getting one of these out of pure curiosity. Yo, ZV1 for $250 off of Craigslist. Now we're talking. And if anybody that was looking for just a good, straight up, like, I'm going to use this as streaming and streaming only, I'm probably never going to move it camera, this is dope. And if you could get one for like 300 bones, dang. Yeah, you got to ship it to Hong Kong. That would be the move. So what you do, if you know anybody that travels back and forth between Jamaica and the continental U.S., and you got somebody that can do that, have them bring it here first and then ship it, and then they'll ship it back to you. But yeah, you almost always going to have to ship it back. If I had something happen to mine, I got to ship it back, which is why I bought another X3 instead of deal with the one with the scratch lens. Let me find this thing. At this company, I saw them, and I was looking at the devices look small, but they're supposedly good. See, like, yeah, you can go buy a NCGO, which is what Verizon will give you if you hook up over Verizon, but you can just buy it for $121, and you just get yourself a T-Mobile SIM card, or there's actually companies that will sell you data-only SIM cards for one-time use, similar to like when we go to Japan or go to Korea or something. But yeah, this is crazy. I need a router so I can plug directly to my LAN. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, that kind of router. I thought you meant mobile router like this. This is cool. This UDM is the sauce. Like, it's not the cheapest, it's not the most expensive, but it's the sauce. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's stop clowning. Let's stop clowning. get this out right here. Pull out the old Milwaukees. We are live unboxing the UDM Dream Router. Just to let you guys know, I was probably fixing to do this as a stream anyway. This live unboxing. So let me put the logo there so I can cut this up later and use it. Look, Dream Router unboxing. Ding, ding, ding. All right, cool. Just in case I decide to cut this up later. All right, so we're going to, speaking of cut this up, let's open the box. I can tell you right now, one of the things that's holding up most people with their internet, they don't even know it, is they're still rocking an old router. That's a huge one that messes people up. Another one is not checking with your ISP to make sure you're getting the plan that your dollar amount is worth. They always love to give new subscribers like, 500 by 20 for $50. But the old subscriber is on like 200 by 10 for $80. A lot of times you just got to call them and complain and be like, hey, fam, I need you to give me what the best deal is. And they'll tell you that they only do it for new customers, and you just argue and fight with them, and they'll normally bless you anyway. So this is what it looks like coming in from the top here. It looks like R2D2. Whoever's the last person to handle this in the factory had dirty hands, but that's okay. I get how factories work. It kind of reminds me of Baymax. Beebo, beebo, beebo. On the back here, you got the WAN port, power port, the WAN port, which you plug to your cable modem. And then this is different. That may not make sense to some of you guys, but these first two ports are PoE ports. And that means power over Ethernet. And I'll explain why this is important in a minute. Right? They also have these two, which are your standard Ethernet ports. And then there's an SD card slot. And the SD card slot is there so that you can save your configurations so that if you are testing something or trying something or went kind of crazy, it'll be worth it. Now, as I'm doing this live, I'm getting some comments from my crew. And here's why I don't like the router that Spectrum gives you. Spectrum router, they will give you, works perfectly fine. It is a Wi-Fi 6 router. However, it has horrible security, and you can't go in there and tweak anything. You can basically name it, right? I ended up having to get that for the house because my equipment at home had a max throughput of like 300 megabits per second, and now I'm getting gig at home. So every time I would do a speed test on my computer, my phone, hardwired, Wi-Fi, whatever, I could never get past that 300. So in a pinch, because it was gonna take longer to order a new router, I just went back to Spectrum and had them give me the stock router that they have, right? And as soon as I installed it, yes, I get the full gig comes out. The Wi-Fi even pulls like 800-900s, but when I went to go to the router page to make, adjustments to the network, you couldn't really adjust anything. And that's horrible. And yeah, it's just not how I wanted to be. Another good idea, especially if you're a streamer, my old equipment will not go past 300. But what I can do with my old equipment is connect it to this new equipment, which can do the full gig. This one actually has a 3 gigabit. I keep messing this up. Who cares? You know what it is. Gigabyte per second. I'm going to get the right word because I'm going to say this about 50 times and some nerd's going to, it's not gigabyte per second, it's gigabit per second. And I'm like, yeah, fam, like, listen. All right. So let me give you the right terminology before somebody kills me. I always forget and I use the words interchangeably, and you shouldn't because there is a big difference. So I don't want nobody to come for me. So let's do that. All right. Throughput. Let's get down. Man, where'd the throughput go? There it is. So On the Wi-Fi on this particular guy, you can get 2.4 gigabits per second, right? And that is a big deal. That is a big deal, right? So what it can do is basically if your software is giving you a full throughput of a gig, you want to make sure that you can get that full gig, right? And if your router can't handle that, it's not going to work. It's like having a Porsche in a small town. You're never going to be able to get it to the right technology, right? You're never going to be able to get it to the right speeds. So, the other thing, it is harder for them to throttle you when you have your own modem. So that's why they all will let you use your own modem. They don't go out of their way of advertising that because they have less control over it, right? So Paul does bring up a good point. I don't know how many gigawatts, Greg. So anyway, this is it. And what this is going to allow me to do is I can take the older hardware and set that up as the 2.4 only network. So it won't use any of the 5G spectrum. I'll set it for 2.4 only. Then I will set all of my IoT devices, aka Internet of Things devices, to that particular network. This does two things for you. IoT devices are highly vulnerable, and by putting all of those vulnerable devices on their own private network, anybody that infiltrated those devices won't be able to make it back to your machines. They'll be stuck on their own little private, network. With this router, which you might not do with a lot of the, gaming routers, even without doing that, you could set up a VLAN in here. A VLAN is a virtual LAN, and inside the virtual LAN, you can set it up to be your smart home network, so all your smart home devices fit on there. But you could also set it up so that VLAN has a pass-through just for your phone to be able to control and reach those devices, but those people wouldn't be able to make it past the VLAN back up to you. So you can make it so if I have a network here called Dallas and I have another network called Irving, I can make the Dallas network control stuff on the Irving network, but the Irving network can never pass back up to the Dallas network, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that's what Victor is talking about. Anyway, so by setting your IoT devices on their own separate VLAN, whether you do it with two pieces of hardware or with a hardware that can do both, you can protect your network from that stuff. And IoT devices won't ruin your live streams because when you drop a 2.4 spectrum device on a 5 spectrum network, it slows down to that, right? So 5 is faster but has a shorter waves. So the shorter waves don't go very far. 2.4 is when you need the distance. 5 is when you can get it all in the same room and make it hella tight. So anyway, because of new modern stuff, you can get really incredible speeds over Wi-Fi, still hardwire it. But with the PoE device like this, that means I have a switch over there in the corner, which is PoE operated. So I could put this in the back room where it's going to live and run a cable over to that switch with no power plug. Then from that switch, this is for Haven, connect to my computer. The Flex switch that goes with this is $30. It's $29. It's called the Flex Mini. And you just power it from this PoE, and then you can plug it in. So that way you can put the switch in the room when you need to be hardwired, but the rest of your house can be Wi-Fi, and then you'll be good to go. So that is the dream router. There's nothing else in this box. There is a little tray in here, which I can't get out. Oy. There. It comes with the power cord. That's important. And a 2L. What the hang is the 2L for? A tiny little 2L. Let's see. Any cool places to stick this tool? I don't know what the tool's for. I'll look it up. But yeah, that's really funny that it comes with a little tool. Maybe it's to help you get your SD card out if you slam the SD card in. All the instructions come on this guy. They have lots of videos online too to help you figure this thing out. Ubiquity is really good company. I like their stuff. If you've been to pretty much any NBA or MLB stadium lately, there are a lot of them run on Ubiquity stuff. There's another couple good companies out there making Ubiquity level stuff that's fairly cheap, but they got their claim to fame because they're giving consumers commercial level networking capabilities at consumer prices. So that's why I fell in love with Ubiquity. I love their stuff. I love their support. And boom. So the Artist Haven says, dun, 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 dun. I work with tech people, and most times stuff they say goes over my head, but some sticks. Yes. Oh God, this is so true. A better router is also great if you have kids. So what Greg means by this is you can throttle the router so that the Xbox gaming won't really work well when it's not time for them. So like say you want them to do all homework stuff first, you can make it so that their Xbox don't do jack until 5:00. That way they got to do their homework first, right? You can also make it so if you have a Zoom call or an Ecamm stream that you have priority. So their Xbox experience will go down the minute you start the Zoom app on your computer or the Ecamm app on your computer. Just check to see what you say. Here at home, older devices, smart TVs, right? And then we monitor our 5 with glass wire and Bitdefender. There you go. There you go. That's how you do it. Let's see what TBD says. Oh, it's too funny. As soon as the live ends, I bought a long cord. I didn't know. You know what? I know tons of people who literally have a live streaming cord. One of my friends had like 100-foot live streaming cord that they would run just for the stream, and then when the stream is over, put it away. Yes, put all your smart-ish devices on their own network. Thank you, Troublemaker. This is easier because the VPN setup, but I'm trying to figure out if I make this as a tutorial, what's the easiest way to teach people how to make, say I have something running on an OTP link on one side and then everything on this side, and let the networks pass through, but make sure the traffic is one way so that nobody on a 2.4 can climb back up to the higher network, especially if they're going to come from different SSIDs, but they're on the same subnet. Anyway, I got to figure out an easy way to explain that without exploding people's brains. There you go. The 54. That's what I was talking about. My friend, like literally, I swear, she has like a 100-foot cord. She runs it from the upstairs down the steps into the living room, plugs it up, does her streams. When it's over, she puts it away. And I'm like, that is just crazy. Like you can get a power line device, which will also help. But yeah, hardwiring at any given cost is the maneuver. QoS, there you go. Quality of service. What did I say? TOS? I meant QoS. No, all you really need is this, right? This alone, for what you got set up at your house, this alone will make you gold, right? Because it does have that. The advantage of doing what I was talking about, of putting a Cat 6 cable here, running it on the PoE and putting a PoE switch next to you, is it allows me to now have 5, actually take that back on this one, 8. I have 8 hardwire ports in my computer room, where my network room is behind this wall, right? Everything in my network room is behind this wall. I have one cable, Cat 6, up and down, comes over here, plugs into this corner, and then it's plugged into that switch. But that switch now gives me 8 things that I can plug in, and then I won't lose any speed. That's the reason why having a switch is helpful. There you go. Boom. Gang, I hope y'all got something out of today. It like literally is why we do this. I really appreciate y'all coming through. The more you guys learn this stuff, the more you can teach the people in your network. I know what the tool's for. You guys ready for this? I don't know why I didn't think of this. This has SSD slot on the back. Let's go overhead. I figured out what the tool is for. You can't put an SD card in there, but you can take this little tool and you can doink, get it out. And then now you can put it in because it's a tray. It's an SSD tray. If you have the full size, it probably fits in there. If you have the nano size, you got to put it in this tray and then close it back up. And then that's why you keep this tool around. I guess you could do it with long fingernail, but the tool is there for you people who eat your fingernails. There, I figured it out. Why am I dumb? There it is. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. You guys rock. I'm going to go make some breakfast, get ready for class for my Drop Squad people. If you find yourself in a position trying to get through and you're running into a brick wall, hit me up. I will work with you in any way I can to help you impact the people that you're trying to impact. Because none of this stuff is really fulfilling unless you can make other kinfolks smile, right? If you could change somebody's life, that's what I'm there. So that's what createbetter.life means, create a better life for you, but it also means creating a better life for someone else. So if you get stuck and you need to holler, hit that link up. Paul drops in the link to the, why my brain does not work today. I know what you're thinking. Today? Really, Doc? Today? Paul will give you the link to get to the mailing list. I am doing some training stuff right now that's been keeping me a little light on my mailing list duties, but that training will be over soon at PodFest next week. And once that's over, back to my regularly scheduled mailing list festivities. I got some cool stuff that I want to share with you guys. And Tuesday, I may not stream Tuesday just due to the fact of PodFest, and they're going to have me busy. But if you're at the PodFest, jump in, come check it out. There it is. Paul has put there. Boom. Dude, the unified dashboard is everything. I have 5 networks on the unified dashboard. I support a bunch of my clients' networks. Yeah, dope. I'm about to send 2 people to handle their own business because I've got them well taught. But yes, you're correct. Anyway, gang, I will see you on the flip side. I appreciate y'all. You guys rock.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down.